Right. Mhm. Mhm. No idea what you're talking about. What's up, Perry? Thank you, thank you. I still don't feel fully revitalized yet, but I will be once I get my full weekend finally after tomorrow. These last few weeks have been really annoying. And it's only gonna be annoying for probably the rest of December too. I don't know, man. Just expect some really weird stream schedule shenanigans for a while. I'll try and make it work though. I don't know, maybe I just need to find like either a new job or a new position or something, because I don't know. I don't think it's worth like this type of schedule just doesn't really work with what I want to do. If I was working 8 hours instead of like 10 to 11, I would easily be able to do a chunk, possibly even two on work days. But as it stands currently, I literally barely have enough time to do one chunk. At least if I want to, like, you know, eat dinner and unwind a little bit before I start streaming. Such is life, though. I am just glad that I found a day where I can do some digging again. I'm hoping I can make some good progress this week to make up for the fact that I did not stream for basically a week. I mean, Thanksgiving was fine. Didn't do anything special, and it was a very busy week of work, so I was mainly kind of stressed and tired for most of that time. But I'm just glad it's over. It's over at least until the week of Christmas, of course. But I don't think that one is going to be quite as bad as Thanksgiving. And then Thanksgiving is just a uniquely busy one because, you know, food industry and such. But yeah, I'm hoping I can do some good sessions. Not tomorrow, but the next 3 days after that. Tomorrow will probably just be another single chunk at night type deal. I really need to start picking up the pace. I feel like I've gotten a really slow start on this section of the project. Not really through any fault of my own, but I wanna start putting in the time to make the progress start flying. We are so back. It's true. It's true. How you doing, Hippo? I am glad to be back. I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm happy to be working on this again. I'm I'm just trying to think in my head right now. I I don't think there's really any way for me to finish this project by the end of next year without putting in crazy hours. Because if I would have to do like an average of like 3 chunks a day, that's 5 hours roughly of my time. And I just do not have that kind of time. At least not currently. What's up, Grill? How you doing? You're good? Nice, nice. Chunk number 1. You're mining chunks now? That is crazy, Grill. I can't believe you would be doing this. Thankfully, no relation to Momo the pineapple. Mikakornu, what is up? How you doing? I'm good. Bit tired, but we're chilling. Well, we're back, guys. We're back. I'm trying to get some progress going again. Oh, yeah. This area is gonna be completely filled with chickens by the time we're done. There's already a lot of chickens. And there's plenty of time for even more. It was the holidays. It was fine. Didn't really do much aside from working. But it could have been worse. Yeah. I'm just really glad that after a couple weeks, I finally get my 3 days off in a row. Not tomorrow, but starting the day after. And that hopefully means I can get some good streams going. Because I am not going through these chunks quickly enough. I need to start getting myself some real progress going. Oh. It's just hard. I think I should either try and find a new job or find a new position within the place I work. Just because, like, if I want to stream, I just need more time. I need a normal 8-hour workday. It's so much harder when I'm working closer to 11 hours. Honestly, I think I'm starting to get to the point where having 3 days off is just not worth it because at least one of those days is like me just needing to fully recover. Like it's just I can't do anything. I don't know. Just not really worth, I think. And also because I can't really stream easily because of it. Can't stream easily, and all my time is spent doing things that, like, aside from the stream, I'm literally just eating dinner and trying my best to unwind at least a little bit. But I pretty much have to stream, like, no more than, like, an hour and a half after coming home, or else it'll be way too late. I don't dread streaming, it's just hard when you're tired, you know? Doing any hobby that you find fun is hard when you're just physically, mentally exhausted. So yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can talk to someone about that, or maybe even just look for a new place to work entirely. It's just hard to find jobs right now. But yeah. Anyways, though, I'm just happy that I found time and energy to start getting back into it. I really do want to start picking up the pace, though. I feel like I mean, this project is gonna take a long time regardless, but I would rather it not take longer than necessary. I mean, if I can do at least one session a week, like the last session I did, then I could make a pretty good amount of progress. Because, I mean, I did, my last stream before I took, like, a week off was a 9-hour stream, and I did 5 chunks. So that was a very eventful one. And I think it could be closer to 8 hours if I didn't need a tool repair, obviously, as well. Because that takes a while. I think it's, absolutely doable. To get this project done in a reasonable time. As long as I can do at least one session like that a week. It's just hard, though, because, I mean, that's basically just another work day. But obviously not as difficult as my actual job. But it is a time commitment, and one that I would have to make sure is okay with my partner. I mean, she's usually pretty chill, but I always just have to make sure. I'll certainly be up there, especially in terms of mining Deep Slate legitimately. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always hard to balance, but it's definitely harder when I'm basically given no free time. Like, honestly, on work days, I pretty much don't spend very much time with her. I mean, thankfully, both of us are kind of like fine, just kind of doing our own thing a lot of days, but still, it's not a great feeling when I just can't spend any time with her because I literally don't get enough time in my day to do things. And also, not even just hang out with her, it's also just like responsibilities, like shopping or anything. It's like, how am I gonna find time to get myself to go shopping after I'm standing for 11 hours. And then also stream. Or at least, I mean, you guys are pretty chill, but like, I do feel a little bad that I can't be very entertaining, because, I mean, one, I'm just not a high energy guy in the first place, but like, I'm especially low energy on my work days. I'm just glad that like I'm not trying to make this my job, because I am doing a very bad job at making it work. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not really the type of person to constantly be screaming or just obnoxious or loud. Yeah. I'm always just a little self-critical. I always feel like I could be doing better. I appreciate that you guys enjoy this stream. It does make me feel better. Honestly, the thing I would want to change the most is just like the frequency and the times I stream, like, or like maybe even the amount of time I stream. I feel like 1.5 hour streams are kind of like, they're long, but they're not like, for Twitch stream standards, that's a short stream. I would be much more interested in doing like closer like 3 hour streams. And that would be possible if I worked 8 hours instead of 11. It would still not be easy, but I think it would be easier. I don't know. It just sucks that because working is a requirement for living, especially in this country, I just don't get enough time to spend it on the things I want to spend it on. And I'm stuck spending a lot of my time doing things I do not care about. Or just resting. At the very least, I am glad that work is easily the least enjoyable part of my day. It would be so much worse if work was my best part of the day. Imagine having kids. God, no. If I had kids, you guys would not be getting streams anymore. I mean, that's just it. Like, how would they even... Where would I find the time and energy? No, if I was to ever have kids, I would never show them out for content. Especially not like putting them on the stream or anything. That would be a disaster. Project MREC. Well, let's be real. I'm gonna get my kid to mine chunks, not play OC. I don't need them to be a perma-zoomer. I need them to be a patient little fellow. People who put their kids on the internet nowadays are stupid. It's especially like putting them like on the internet without their permission and without like just putting their full info and face and everything out there and everything about them. It's just not good. Don't do it. It's not safe. Can they even give permission? No, not really. They're kids. I mean, that's why, like, consent laws exist the way they do. You can't expect a child to know really what they're doing. And it goes the same way for, like, internet safety. It's like, you shouldn't be posting your kids online because what if they don't want that, but they're not old enough yet to articulate or be able to even understand that kind of thing, you know? Like, talking about your kids online, I think it's fine as long as you're not giving out, like, actual personal or embarrassing details about them. But you can mention that you have kids. Maybe mention, like, their age. Like, sure. But, like, beyond that, you really don't need to give out all the information about your child. Especially identifying information that would put them at risk. Like where they go to school and like more detailed information about them on top of that. Like, yeah, you don't need to do all that. Please don't. I'm glad that my parents were not tech savvy and I was like just a little too young or too, I guess a little too old to be born with like social media from like literal birth, you know? Like social media didn't really take off until my teens. So I'm already like at an advantage in that regard. Like I didn't have to deal with it from literally the moment I was born. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I say this a lot, both in real life and when I talk to people online, but like, why can't people just be normal? Why is it hard to just be like not an idiot and chill? Like just relax. Think for a moment. I can't imagine going my whole life like literally never thinking before I just do things. Like obviously everyone's impulsive to one degree or another. It's human. But like at least try and think of the consequences or, you know, further implications. Common sense and empathy. Okay, I feel like common sense, the more I think about it, common sense is really... Common sense only works as a concept if everyone gets the same type of education. But in reality, we do not get the same type of education, and not everyone is able to grasp a thing like common sense. But I understand the sentiment of what you mean. Like, things that should be universally agreeable that somehow aren't. And yeah, empathy is a funny one to me. Like, you're telling me you can't understand that people feel things? You can't understand how it would feel on the receiving end of whatever insult or terrible thing you do? Sure, being ignorant is one thing, or just being unaware. But if you're actively... Being actively against the truth is a choice. I feel like it is a lot easier to just believe that the things that you see and the things that people who are actually smart can tell you. It's not a bad thing. Like, you can just... You don't have to know everything. But you do need to be willing to accept that you aren't going to be right about everything. And that there are people that know things that you don't. And that you just kind of have to trust them. You can always be skeptical and ask for sources and ask for reasoning. But, like, at a certain point, it's also like, okay, you do not know more about an expert on this topic. You cannot just be like, well, this person's wrong because I feel like they're wrong. Like, that does... I don't get it. I don't get it. I've never gone through my life being like, well, the doctor is wrong. Of course, like, doctors can and have been wrong about things. But generally speaking, they have a much better idea about medicine than you would. Unless it's something extremely specific, but even then, without, like, actual, you know, education or training of any kind, it would be foolish to think that you are smarter than an expert. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I can understand the hesitation in wanting to give your trust to someone and you just not being able to, like, have agency in making every single choice in your life. But, like, you already make decisions like that every day. Driving on the road means you're giving away some of your agency because you have to share the road with people who probably are equally, if not worse, drivers than you. There is just going to be... You can't control everything, and it's a foolish errand to try and control everything. And there's certain things where, like, you absolutely should be at least willing to try and think about letting people smarter than you or just more educated than you on certain things help you. There's a reason to be sometimes skeptical, but you also shouldn't base your moral compass on how you feel or how you think others should feel. Yeah. I'm basically a podcaster. I mean, the thing is, I feel like I'm not really good at just talking without any input to start from. I feel like that's the one skill I lack compared to, like, a professional streamer of some kind. Like, those guys usually can just talk and talk, but also usually they have bigger chats to interact with, so it's easier to make a feedback loop. I should start a Red Pill podcast. I should make a podcast where instead of being like you should be skeptical of everything you see. You should be like you should just close your eyes. Let me guide you. I am very smart. So what you want to do is you want to rotate every mirror in your house 90 degrees. And you want to unscrew every light bulb just a little bit. Not to where it'll fall out, but just a little bit. You don't want it fully connected, you know? Because if the light bulb is too tight, it'll mess up the energy in the house, you know? Trust me, I'm an expert. OCD be like... Oh man, there's definitely times in my life where I know that I've closed something properly, but I will reopen it and then close it again just to really make sure that I closed it correctly. Now, I've never been diagnosed with OCD, and I don't know if that even is a symptom of OCD, but it's definitely... I feel like it's probably not normal. I don't know. Maybe more people do it than I realize. But you unplugging everything during storms because you'll be scared or stuck or a fire will happen. I mean, I feel like that's not even that unreasonable. The last time I went through like a really bad storm, I had a gut feeling because okay, this was back when I lived with family, and my PC setup was in the basement area. Because that's where we had everything. Like, our living room was basically the basement as well. We had, like, our kitchen down there, too, and everything. And I remember, it was, like, I think it was 2016. And, like, a really bad flood happened. But I didn't know how bad it was going to be yet. But I just had a gut feeling that, like, this storm looks really bad. I'm going to just unplug everything and also run my computer upstairs. And our entire basement flooded that day. So that was pretty epic. my gut feeling there definitely saved my computer, but like, man, that sucked. It was really bad having to replace basically everything in the basement. Also, the source is my candles. My candles are my sources. Lemon-scented candles. Wait, no, melon, not lemon. Actually, you know, I don't know if I've ever seen a melon-scented candle. I'm sure they exist. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I don't have OCD, but I definitely have something going on. I don't think I necessarily have, like, irrational levels of, like, being, like, things need to be a very specific certain way. But there's definitely times in my life where I give myself pause. Like, I'm not entirely sure. But I definitely feel like I mean, I probably just have some sort of tism. Let's be real, but yeah. I thought about going to a doctor for an actual diagnosis on that, but honestly, with how much our current government hates anything that's not neurotypical, I'm kind of scared to get a diagnosis of autism. Because the last thing I want is that to be used against me, you know? Maybe that's irrational, but like I don't know, man. These are kind of bad actors. I don't trust them with my medical information. I don't trust them with anything, but like especially not personal information of any kind. Dude, you're mining 1,024 chunks and everyone here is watching you do it. Yeah. No, trust me. Everyone who's watching this stream is neurotypical. I'm the only weird one, obviously. I guess I do need to be reminded of that, though, because I do feel like sometimes in my head that I'm the only weird one. But it does make a lot more sense that people who are more like me would be the ones to watch something like this in the first place. It would be very unusual for someone who is quote-unquote neurotypical to be engaged in this other than boredom or to maybe even make fun of this. Hate watching, I suppose. He was diagnosed with ASD young. I don't think you have to report it to any government body. Yeah. I don't know. I'd rather just not deal with that at all. And honestly, if I do have autism or something else, like, it doesn't think... I don't think it, like, matters in my life very much. I feel like I function highly enough. Lied about on your health insurance because they up your premiums if you have it. Well, then I definitely don't need to tell them. I can't afford being not neurotypical. I'm very neurotypical, guys. Especially to all the health insurance agents watching. You listened to an interview and this girl had OCD and she had to smile at everyone. She walked by in public and went, yeah, okay, I don't have that. I mean, I do smile when I walk by people, but not because I think they're gonna end their life if I don't. That's not why I do that. I do it because it makes me feel like a normal person. I feel like if I just walk by people without acknowledging their existence, at least like when I'm at work where it's more expected, it makes me feel like I stand out if I don't, because I'm like one of the only people that wouldn't do it, at least where I work. So I don't want to stand out like that. Told your family at 12 you think you have Asperger's at the time. Yeah, I mean... ton of parents don't say anything. Honestly, I don't think I've ever talked to my family about this. But that's mainly because in my family's culture, or like the culture that my family grew up in, being neurodivergent isn't a thing. Or at least not in the way that we think of it. Person or family, yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, when I look at, like, my family, I feel like I really stand out in that regard. Like, I don't get, like, that vibe from, like, my mom or my sibling. They strike me as way more neurotypical than I do. So I don't know, maybe I'm just a product of my environment rather than genetic. I mean, to be fair, wasn't autism literally not diagnosed until sometime in the 1900s? Most people think that, but a ton of adults learn masking behaviors. I mean, there's something up with my family, but I don't know if it's that necessarily. But maybe it is. I don't know. The thing is that I'm not very good at reading people. That is not a skill I have. Like, unless it's supremely obvious, I'm not good at actually understanding. I have no idea what that test is.
Thank you.
Thank you to follow. They accepted people collecting trains and coins to extreme level as a casual hobby and autism, yeah. I mean, that's the stereotype, right? Well, I feel like the rice purity test is way different from an autism test. So, that make yeah. Here, I'll search this up though, and then like bookmark it so that way I can check this out later because I am interested. I just obviously can't do that right now. I mean, honestly, to me, that's way better. Like, the race purity test is boring to me because I'm boring. That test is for making sure your rice isn't infected or anything before you cook and eat it, yeah. It also is a test on whether you think that rice cookers are good or bad. How much of a Puritan are you about how you cook your rice, you know? What's up, Muffin? How you doing? Actually, you know what? That reminded me of a conversation I had at work today. I had two coworkers try and convince me to get a really nice rice cooker, and I was on board with them until I saw the sticker price of anywhere between $500 and $800, and that's where they lost me. Now, to be fair to them, neither of them got that rice cooker for anywhere near that price. I think one of them got it off Facebook Marketplace and the other got it from like a thrift store for a lot cheaper. But like, still, I don't know if I need a rice cooker like that, man. Like, I'm fine with my $30 rice cooker that makes great rice. Not very Puritan, but some people think they can make sticky rice by just not straining the water and gets too mushy and gross. I don't like sticky rice. My rice needs to be like nice and fluffy, but like separated, you know? Like, I don't want it to be sticking. I think the rice cooker is also a pressure cooker, the one they showed me, but yeah, I don't know. Again, neither of them got that for anywhere near retail value, but it does make me wonder how a rice cooker could even cost that much. Like, it better be reading me, like, bedtime stories and stuff if it costs that much. Families from Iran. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's how rice was always cooked in my household, like doing it on the stovetop, not using like a rice cooker. I don't think I've ever had that specific dish, but I've definitely had stuff in that same vein. I mean, my family's from Iraq, so basically the same thing. Not really, obviously, but to the simple American, they're the same thing. No, yeah. Honestly, though, rice cooker has been easily one of my best investments. I'm not a Puritan in terms of like needing to do my rice dishes like cooked on the stovetop. Like unless I'm gonna just be cooking the rice inside of the dish anyways that I'm cooking, like I'd rather just cook my rice separately in a rice cooker and then add it later. It depends on the dish you make, obviously, but at least like when I do like meal prepping, for example, like through the week, I like just making all my rice in the rice cooker and then just portioning it out as I need it and then freezing the rest. The other side of your family's from England. Grandma said she was making burgers in the oven. Yeah, that's look, I mean, you can. You can do this. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. It wasn't well done, it was congratulations. You have no idea how often I think of that specific image, that meme. Goink can attest to this. She has heard me quote this multiple times. Not to in the oh my god, I can't speak. Recently. No, but like you can make a burger in the oven. You can do this. Should you? No. But you can. You can do it just once. I mean, look, I think if you tried, you could make that good. It just wouldn't really be a burger. It would be its own thing. And obviously, like, doing it in the oven, you're just asking for it to be way overcooked. Now, to be fair, honestly, for burgers, I don't really mind it, like, being more on the well done side. But it still needs to be done at least on a stovetop, if not on a grill. Yeah. I mean, if you did that in the oven, you would want it to be more like a meatball, not a burger. Because that makes more sense for like a meatball. You like your burgers to be burger flavored? Well, that's just ridiculous. What's up, Dad? How you doing? I just can't think of that many times where I would want... I think the only time I ever cook my ground beef in a way where it's like fully well done like that is when I'm doing like minced ground beef, like either for like homemade tacos or like a rice bowl of some kind. Definitely not, or like spaghetti. But yeah, for a burger, you definitely... I mean, I'm not a big fan because it's chopped up and heavily seasoned. Exactly, exactly. When it's super chopped up and you get like nice browning, it doesn't matter that it's like well done. And obviously good seasoning as well is important. But yeah, if you're doing like burger-sized meat in the oven, it better be meatballs. Straight up ball of meat. God. That really does sound like the average English dish. Hardest swallow of your life. Honestly, that's when you pull out the sauce and just literally drown it in sauce. You doused it in ketchup. Nah, man. You gotta... I mean, obviously depends on what you had available, but I would do like a hot sauce or something. I mean, I like hot sauce anyways, but hot sauce is really useful for bad dishes. It's a good distraction. Welcome, Active here. How you doing? Yeah, sorry. Very bold assumption. My bad. What's the cartoon meatball name? Cartoon meatball. I think you might want to be more specific. Adult Swim show. Oh, you mean Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I do not remember the name of the meatball character, unfortunately. Was it like Meatwad? Something like that? Or am I thinking of something else entirely? Got this candied jalapeno sauce. You know what? I actually tried a jalapeno jam recently. It was so surprisingly sweet. I'm like, where's the jalapeno flavor? This is just a sweet sauce. Why am I doing this to myself? 'Cause it's fun. We're having fun here. Is it Meatwad? Dang, that's crazy, because I've literally never watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I've never watched a full episode. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was like the show I saw on the TV and realized I stayed up too late and I need to turn off the TV. That and King of the Hill. I'm sure they're both great shows. I just literally never watched them. I've heard good things about King of the Hill, especially. George Lopez. Oh, God. Nick at Night. That's the only thing that comes to my mind when I think of George Lopez. Unflavored straight oatmeal. Yeah, well, be thankful that it wasn't unflavored gay oatmeal. That'd be even worse. At least it'd be fruity. She would find a way to make gay oatmeal not taste fruity. I believe in her powers as an English cook. That's hilarious, though. Just wonder how much better the state of British cooking would be if Jamie Oliver didn't exist. And I just can't believe that people exist in this world that cook without seasoning. Or any idea as to what food that tastes good could be like. Like, we literally killed people and started wars over spices. Including your country. You would think you would know how to use the seasonings that you killed a bunch of people over, right? What did they do with that? I think they just threw them in the ocean or something. You didn't do that? Muffin, I would never insinuate that you would kill native people for their spices. Now, you might have done other things that are reprehensible, but we don't need to get into that. I mean, I think my family, like, not my direct family, like, not like my mom and dad, but I think their parents or grandparents have that type of relationship. Because, I mean, the British and the French kind of went into the Middle East and were like, yeah, let's just carve up these areas for ourselves, right? At the very least, you're not Argentinian German. Yeah. Low key, I think it would be epic if I was German. I don't know why, but I think it would just be so funny if I was the exact same way, but I was German. German 985. So true. Argentinian German too confidently. I mean, look, you can still be proud of that, even if the implication is dark. Or at least not a favorable one. And, you know, it's always possible that that relationship happened without it necessarily being, like, a bad one. Pretty certain you have native in you on your mom's side. Probably not a good sign. You know what else is not a good sign? Stop signs. I don't respect those things. I ate. Me when I have dinner. Me every day. Because I have to do this to live. What do I think of deer crossing signs? I hope to see one. 'Cause, 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 'C Can't type on this tablet. This is very unfortunate. Yeah. So Kamala Harris's dad from 4 generations ago is white. I think we should not vote for you because of this. Can't believe this is the butterfly collector guy. Well, hopefully he's not gonna do anything to us that would be problematic. Surely he will not want to harm us in any way. Also, this chunk's kind of flown by. I don't think it's even going to be, like, particularly fast, but... We're chilling, we're chilling. But yeah, before I end stream, I probably should just mention, I think tomorrow, probably be a stream around this time. And then after that, I have 3 days off of work. So I'm hoping I can get some good sessions in on those days. Feels fast because I've been yearning for the chunks. Low-key, though, like, taking a break is always nice because my motivation is so much higher. Like, even though I'm super exhausted from work, my motivation is really high. So I can just tough it out and just keep going. That's the one nice thing about taking a break every so often. Even if it's a forced break. No thanks. Bless you. An encore. I don't have time, unfortunately. I gotta go to bed today. I gotta go to bed. Speaking of which, ZZZ. Sorry, 1 sec. There we go. Yeah. Again, if only I had more time. I really should look into finding a job where I can work a more normal type schedule. This is in fact a Poro sad moment. I love Poro sad. It's just such a good emote. Please do not do this to my workplace. I definitely do not want the structural integrity of my place to be compromised in any way. Okay, but what if instead of a bomb, what if we placed a black hole within the kitchen? I think this would be pretty epic. Wouldn't that destroy the Earth pretty fast? I do not know. A glitter bomb. Oh man, that kitchen would never recover. Opening glitter is literally a death sentence to feeling like you are in a glitter-free environment for the rest of your life. You will find glitter. You'll probably find glitter even after the heat death of the universe. But yeah, I actually don't know how big a black hole can grow. Like, is it one of those types of things where like it'll eat up the Earth within like minutes, or is it like would it take days, years, centuries even? I don't think it would be very pleasant no matter the answer to that, but Scotty D dropped the bomb. My name is Pisonia, and I hate the Yosu community. I think it depends on the mass of the black hole. Yeah, I guess it would depend if the black hole was like the mass of like a grape or the mass of like the Empire State Building or like Mount Everest. Black hole technically never absorb the Earth in our perception because as we approach it, the perception of time will change. I don't know that much about this kind of thing, but does time even like exist at the point that you cross the event horizon of a black hole? I don't even know how low-key black holes are like as a little kid, I thought black holes were literally gonna like destroy the Earth at any moment. I thought we were at imminent like we were gonna die imminently from a black hole in my lifetime. Time does exist, but as our speed increases relative to a we perceive time slower. So if we like fell into a black hole, for example, would there ever be a point in our perception that we would actually fall into it, or would it seem like on our end that we are just falling towards it forever, essentially? It would likely seem like you would get slower and slower. Man. Like, that's terrifying, but that's also so intriguing if that's really the case. I find stuff relating to space very dreadful but intriguing at the same time. Like, we are so nothing in comparison to space. Hey. Hello, a long nap. Welcome. Man, I'm gonna take a long nap after I finish this chunk. Some might even call it sleep. Yeah, I think the Earth being swallowed up, I could see that happening. It would grow pretty fast. I could see that. I mean, You think the Earth would swallow the black hole? And then slowly shrink. Well, this is never gonna happen because our sun's gonna blow up before this happens, so it's okay. What's the mining for? We're just chilling and having fun. I just find mining very fun. It's relaxing, it's enjoyable. And I just want to dig a very large hole in the ground. Sorry, I think I missed something. His current Solar 2 record holder, fastest black hole phase went from 100, I think that's 100,000 mass, to causing the big crunch in about 40 seconds. This is real science. I forget if this is true, but isn't the universe literally expanding faster than the speed of light? Like, isn't that low-key just kind of trippy? I think that's really fascinating, but, like, why? No? Oh, okay. I thought it was. Honestly, the more I think about space, the more everything about life seems so trivial. But it's kind of cool. We simplify it to a speed, but technically the universe doesn't expand at a speed. Then what is it doing exactly if it's not expanding at a speed? The units are kilometers per second per megaparsec. I've definitely heard this phrase before, but I do not understand it. I don't know if we really have time for this discussion right now, but... Distance divided by time divided by distance. I think the problem with space is that I do have an interest in it, but I've definitely not learned enough about it to really actually have a good discussion about it. I feel like I know so little. Did I get a message? Okay. Another day, another dollar. Really is just real life. Yeah, I think I'm also just too tired to have this conversation right now because I'm not really processing very much. But it's definitely something I do want to learn more about. Also, the weird part about the universe expands that it doesn't create new things, stuff just gets further. Right, isn't there going to be a point where we're basically just not going to be able to see stars in the sky anymore? Or something to that effect, where like things are just, we're just gonna not be able to see as much of the universe in the future as we can now. Well, yeah, obviously not in our lifetime, but like the Earth theoretically should still be fine for a couple billion years. So maybe within the lifetime of Earth, it's possible. Technically, I'm expanding. Wait, that's kind of epic. So you're telling me all this weight loss I did was for nothing? Oh, that's just nihilism. No, but that's weird. Why is everything about space so weird? Like, it both makes sense, but does not make sense at all. Like, it makes sense because we live in this universe, but it also just... Yeah. Like, I wonder to what extent how much the universe actually makes sense, or if it only makes sense because we live in it. Like, is it possible our universe is actually like a very bizarre one? Assuming that multiple universes exist. I feel like multiple universes have a pretty good chance of existing, right? I don't know why. That idea feels like it makes more sense than this being the only universe. Unless the universe we have is one that like cycles through itself over and over. Like instead of multiple universes, it's just the same universe starting and ending over and over. That's an idea. We have no way of really knowing that the other people. Yeah, I mean, we don't even know what consciousness is, really. So figuring out how the universe works and proving that more than one universe exists. Yeah, like we're just not gonna do that probably. That's true. Chickens are an anomaly. You're telling me this dinosaur just existed and still exists? Crazy. See, okay, hear me out. Why didn't the dinosaurs just flee to Argentina? They would have been fine. Are they stupid? Alright. Have a good night. Sleep well. Because the other dinosaurs weren't getting out of the Nuremberg trials. Those dinosaurs were war criminals. I cannot take the that emoji seriously at all, Muffin. That emoji has been completely ruined. I don't know. I'm too old to get it. It is so over for you, Bat. It was good while we knew you. Is there a reason roses are like that? Something to do with quarks. Okay, just imagine Womp Womp whenever you see that. No, I don't think I will. Anyways, we're about to finish this chunk. Wow! Incredible. Okay. Very nice. World record! Olympic record! No way. No way. Okay, screenshot. Screenshots. Screenshot. And screenshot. Okay, cool. Okay. That is gonna be all for me, guys. Productive little stream. Got a chunk done. Let me update the counter. And then yeah, we'll do another nighttime stream tomorrow. And then after that I have 3 days off. So hoping to get some good mining in. But yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good night. Goodbye. See you guys.